Welcome along to Betting Weekly Live. You're with myself, Dan Roebuck, and alongside me, as you can see, Simon Holden, the dynamic duo that you never knew that you wanted. We're going to be talking soccer, big games, of course, in Spain, Italy, Germany, France. We've got the English Championship as well, massive game tonight as Burnley take on Norwich, and the Masters is ongoing as well. We're going to be talking best bets from late three balls at Augusta. Simon, how are you? How has your Masters started? Because we're into the second round already.
Hi, Dan. Well, hello, everybody. And what I would say is, there's this craze of these AI figures that are aging people. It's all going around WhatsApp groups, right? It's a bit childish myself. But how could any AI model age me and you further than we already looked at? Even Grok 3 hasn't got the capabilities to make us look older than we look today. So I need the razors. I need the greenbacks for the razors on Sunday night. It's going all right, yeah. Of course, we're in the outright market on Instagram. We gave Xander, who's won over, but just getting going now, and Patrick Reed, the pantomime villain himself, won under yesterday. And then we've gone in again this morning on Sahith Theegala. So he's just getting underway as well. So we've got three. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Justin Rose flying the flag for England there.
Yeah.
Now, I can say, just as we've been waiting to come on air, the whole situation has altered because live here, Justin Rose is level on the day. Ludwig Aberg has birdied to go within two, and Bryson DeChambeau has birdied the second. So Bet Rivers are already adjusting. These are live prices, plus 600 Bryson, plus 550 Aberg as we speak. It is hotting up, Dan.
Yesterday, some notable wagers that have cashed. Someone had $1,000 on Justin Rose to be first round leader. This was in play at 15-1. But pre-tournament, a $175 play on Justin Rose to be the leader after the first round at 66-1 was a winner, just over £11,500 that was won with that bet. And Scottie Scheffler to beat Justin Thomas in the first round, a $4,500 player, just a little bit bigger at -179. The thing is with Justin Rose, he's not won the Masters, Simon, as we know, but he's gone close previously, and he has started really strongly in the past. It's not that much of a surprise. Well done to those that managed to pick him to be first round leader. The big question, Simon, is can he stay there?
The big answer is I'm afraid not. Age is against him. He's got one of the greatest players of all time breathing down his neck in Scottie Scheffler. He couldn't get the Open over the line last year, and many of us felt that was his last opportunity. To be fair to the guy, he's knuckled down. He was struggling a couple of years ago to get in these majors. That's how far he dropped. And now it really is. It was a stellar performance yesterday, but he looks very weary to me and very stressed. He's struggling a bit today with his yardages. Do you know if he's top 10, Dan, it'll be a tremendous performance. I just cannot see him winning.
Notable Masters wagers for you. We've had a $10,000 play on Ludwig Aberg at 6-1 to win. $5,000 play on Bryson DeChambeau at 14-1. $5,000 play on Scottie Scheffler at 5-1. A lot of people would hope to have that one in the pocket, that's for sure.
Yeah.
$1,000 play on Akshay Bhatia at 40-1. Corey Connors $500 at 55-1. So some 3-figure, 4-figure plays at some big prices. Denny McCarthy's been bet, and also a straight forecast Scheffler Aberg at 120-1, which has got a bit of a chance. There's no doubt about that. Also a $200 on Justin Rose at 100-1. I mean, if you were playing now, I know you're going to give bets out on Instagram over the course of the weekend, and we're going to get some 3-ball plays as well. If you are looking for someone in the futures, the outrights at the minute, live in play, is there any golfers you could put our viewers on to?
Well, I mean, an ominous interview with Scheffler at the end, Scottie, last night, where he said he's never been better prepared for a golf tournament. That would send chills down a bookmaker's spine, listening to that. He's going to kick on. Now, interestingly, I'm taking him on today, and I'll give my reasonings. I think this is going to be a holding day for him. I think really he strategizes the week shot by shot. I think tomorrow he's going to put his foot on the pedal. Today, I think you'll see a steady Eddie round for him. He'll just want to stay in the top 3 or 4. This tournament is often won on the Saturday, ironically. It's often the guy who leads into Sunday that holds on. But it really is up to all to play for. And of course, Bet Rivers is still playing on the 4 places if you're betting running. So, of course, if you think Scottie's going to win, you can still take him on with big prices. Interesting that Lowry started well. He's always threatened to get a green jacket, hasn't he? And I don't know. I think he could be of interest. But again, ominous that Scheffler's starting to have the effect on the field that Woods had in his pomp. I'm not saying he's quite there yet, but you can see the oh my God, he's there when he's in the top 5. And I think that's almost a 1 or 2 stroke advantage.
I think as well, and we will return to the Masters. We are going to talk soccer very shortly indeed.
Yeah.
But I think as well, you've got to be towards the top of the leaderboard. I can't remember the stat now. Is it something like 17 of the last 18 winners have been within 4 going into the second round? You can't start too far back. So does that rule out Rory? Because, the way that he finished yesterday was such a disappointment after being up in the van. Can he come back from level par day one to contend, do you think?
He could do. Anybody could do. Now, anybody's got a chance. The problem is the golf course is so difficult and so mentally taxing that you would have to do 3 brilliant rounds to win. And that's very, very difficult. If you're up there, you're allowed to have a few mistakes, like I say, and have a holding day and go for level par, not attack it. We saw Nikolai Højgaard play hand grenade golf and aim at the flag.
It's unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he's gone from 3 over to 3 under to 4 over. I mean, and that shows you, and Rory can be guilty of that here as well. Overly aggressive, because if you are, as Jack Nicklaus always says, you go for every flag here, you'll be home on Friday night. So it's difficult to make ground, isn't it? Unless you're somebody like Reed or a Mickelson who knows every blade of grass here and just plops your way around, waits for the field to come back to you.
We've got a lot to come on the show over the course of the next half hour, 40 minutes or so. We're going to get Simon's best bets for the later 3 balls, the last 4 out. We're going to get a selection from Simon in each. We're going to talk soccer as well, just to name check some of our viewers here. Disky Sats, welcome all. Byron's with us as well. Duncan, likewise. Ian Messina says favourite top 10 finish for the Masters. Yeah, well, we'll get on to that one. Stephen from Lynn is with us. Sir Isaac Newton says 3 draws out of 8. For the football last night, returned a profit. Villavan says, hi, Dan, enjoying the Masters. Ray Burke's with us as well. Joe says, what were the football matches yesterday? Lovely sells. Hey, English mates, Canada here. Good to have you along. Nish is with us as well. Joe says, Tottenham were absolutely awful. Don't see them getting through against Frankfurt. Yeah, drop your picks in for the Masters. Troy is on hand to let us know what you like. So we'll put some prices to it as well. The real Brendan King says, welcome back, Simon. I told you on Shafele, let's ride. Yeah, well, we need something big from Xander today.
Good to see you.
About that, yeah. Look, we're going to talk golf a little bit later on in the show. Soccer, as always, coming up first. We're going to get some picks and plays from myself and Simon. First of all, on Burnley, I'll rattle through some of the European action. I've put a call into James and Steve as well when it comes to the French soccer tonight, so I'll be passing on their thoughts on the game a little bit later. But first of all, Mr. Holden, we're going to talk championship action and the game between Burnley and Norwich here. Now, Burnley are minus 205, Norwich are plus 480 here. Draw plus 280. Burnley can go back to the top of the championship if they win. They're plus 185 to win the championship. Leeds are minus 167. They're at home to Preston tomorrow. Sheffield United are away at Plymouth tomorrow. So a big incentive for them, Simon, to go back to the top of the table, albeit for just a few hours. Unbeaten in 28 in the championship, but they did draw with Derby in midweek. That was a bit disappointing. Only 2 shots on target as well. But we know that they are a side that just about do enough. They are a team that are efficient rather than flamboyant. Of those 28 games, 21 have been under 2.5. I think the minus 136 for under 2.5 goals is a bit of a gift here. That will be my only bet tonight on Burnley versus Norwich. What have you got for us?
Well, the Derby draw the other night, was, can you get more than X-rated? I mean, We did a game with Burnley Leeds where we got the 0-0 on the night and said it was going to be a board draw. Absolutely most enjoyable board draw I've ever seen, that game. That game, when I look back, I almost look back on it fondly now, having watched the Derby Burnley game. It was absolutely woeful. But I tell you what an advantage to play on Friday night for Burnley and turn the heat upon their rivals. One of these three teams, Leeds, Sheffield United, Burnley's going to miss out. And I think Burnley are the least likely to miss out. They are just professional. It isn't exciting. It certainly wouldn't work in a Premier League, but they are outstandingly set up. And again, like you, I think this is I tell you what, on the money line, I think Burnley are massive value. I really do at -205. Norwich have only won 1 in 5. They're the wrong sort of team. 28 game unbeaten run. It is going to be 29. I could not have Norwich. You might say -205 is a poor price. +480 Norwich is a far worse price. And again, it's going to be the old. It used to be the song 1-0 to the Arsenal, 1-0 to the Burnley, and it really is. So under 2.5, -136. Both teams to score no at -143. I think they are three outstanding bets. They're becoming a team that you can almost write the script for, aren't they? It's going to be dour. They're going to stifle Norwich's wide play. And, when it's 1-0, you always think a game isn't over. I'm beginning to watch Burnley. When they go 1-0 up, just turn over and do something else with the last 25 minutes. They are just brilliant at snuffing out the team's strengths, and I think they're going to do it again today. And I don't really see what Norwich are going to do to counter them. They're not coming here in any great form, are they? The season's petering out. 1-0 to the Burnley.
Burnley to nil is +130. Incidentally, if you want to play that, I tend to think just go unders.
Yeah. I would say that's the stronger bet. I'd just say if I had to correct score, I'd say
I think it's just one of those things that you almost want 0-0 on your side. Maybe I know that you've gone for Burnley at -210 here. I can't argue with any of that. I've backed Burnley to win the division. I've backed Burnley to go up as well. So I completely agree with that. Just to get one or two thoughts from our YouTube commenters here. What have we got? We have got lovely sales. How about Burnley today under 1.5 goals? Well, yeah, you'll get a little bit more for your money for that. Joe Bamber says Burnley under 2.5 is +230. Like that one, Joe. Sprinkle 0-0 correct score. Bit of a saver. +830. Can't argue with that one as well. Joe says if we don't see Norwich scoring, these bets are all cashing. Burnley, great bet. Under 2.5 goals from lovely sales as well. Masters picks Hovland, Aberg or Deschambault. Hovland, he was out of form and then he won. Then he won from nowhere. I don't know how he got on yesterday in the Masters, but
he's doing all right. Yeah, he started all right. But I just the issues he's had, I'd count him as a player. Can I just say on the people giving the 0-0, and of course I gave the 0-0 last time we featured Burnley when I was on. I just think that the pressure on Burnley to win this game with what's at stake means that if it is a draw after an hour, you're never going to see them becoming flamboyant. But surely they're going to go for the win here. I just think that this is going to be get the win and shut up shop. Get the lead rather than shut up shop.
Burnley Norwich is going to be streamed live on the BetRivers app and the BetRivers website, as is Notts County, Salford, Valencia, Sevilla, Cordoba, Levante. The latter is the second tier in France. Lens against Reims as well. I've got James and Steve's thoughts on that to come for you. 6 Ligue 1 matches also streamed live. And I didn't run through the bets from last night that we had in the soccer. One or two of you were talking about the games last night. We had a $7,000 play on Jagiellonia Białystok, the Polish side, in the second half. 0.75 Asian handicap line at even money against Real Betis, which was a win. A $5,000 play on Lyon Manchester United first half over 1.5 total goals, which was a win. We also had money on Atletico Mineiro in Brazil, or was that the Copa Libertadores game? $4,000 play against Deportes Iquique. $2,000 play on Lazio live draw no bet, which was a loser. I saw Steve Wiss's reports on Berta there. He said they were really, really good against Lazio. They won 2-0, should have been more. And we also had a $1,000 play on Chelsea against Legia Warsaw over 7.5 first half corners, which was a winner as well, +250 for $1,000. So well done for those playing the big money on the soccer last night, and also some big bets on some of the US sports as well. Pelicans against the Bucks, a $20,000 play, which is a loser, plus 17.5 on the Pelicans, and the Timberwolves on the money line against the Grizzlies, an $18,000 play, which is a loser. On the tennis, Dimitrov on the money line, which was a winner, a $10,000 play at minus 156. And in the hockey, Utah against the Predators, an $8,000 play on the money line, minus 189, which was a loser. So a mixed bag when it comes to some of the soccer and around the world, the other sports from our Bet Rivers traders. So Burnley, Norwich, let's just sum up then here. It sounds like most people are going to go unders. It's an easy one to take, but I still think the odds are very much in your favour. I was looking at some of the stats for this one. Under 2.5 this season, Simon, for Burnley, 31 of 41 matches under 2.5, 75% strike rate. So that's implied odds is around about minus 300. If you've been betting unders every single game for Burnley this season, you're about 10.5 points up to level stakes, 25% return on investment. And even when they are a short price favourite, they always seem to go under. They don't let loose against the rubbish of the league. Not suggesting that Norwich are that bad, but you see what I'm saying. They are efficient.
Dan, slagging Norwich off.
So I'm going to play.
Sometimes as bettors, we can try and be too clever. We can try and be against the tide too violently. Why not just, hop on the Burnley profit train and cash again? I cannot see this not copping. Now, of course, it's football. They might have all the play and Norwich might get a last-minute penalty. That is implied. But I just think it's not a night to try and be clever. Just play along.
Burnley on the money line for Simon. Under 2.5 for me. A lot of you liking Burnley and under. If you're getting involved in that, we wish you well. We're hoping for not a lot of action. A Burnley 1-0 win, I think, would suit many of us. 91% of the money, 96% of the tickets are on Burnley. 85% of the money is on overs. Make of that what you will. And we've had some big bets as well here. Burnley -1 on the Asian line at plus 105. We've had a $1,200 play and $1,000 play on Norwich City and over 2.5 total corners, minus 156. So City over 2.5 total corners, minus 156. That is the championship game. Going to be back with Simon shortly with some golf, but I will rattle through some of the European football that we've got coming your way tonight. Let us know what you like when it comes to any of these games. I've got James and Steve's thoughts on Lens against Reims in just a second. But first of all, big game in Germany. Wolfsburg against Leipzig. Now, Germany cannot get an extra Champions League spot, so it's top 4 or bust for the teams looking to make the Champions League. Leipzig are 5th in the minute, and anyone around the Bundesliga scene will tell you that Leipzig have budgeted to be a Champions League team. They have to get top 4, so there's an awful lot of pressure on them to jump into the top 4 places. They're 1 point behind Mainz in 4th. They're 3 behind Eintracht Frankfurt in 3rd. Jotlov is now in charge. He's the interim coach to the end of the season. He was assistant to Thomas Tuchel at Chelsea and at Bayern. Good player in his day, Hungarian international. And he also played for Mainz. He lost his first game in charge to Stuttgart in the Pokal, but he did win his first Bundesliga game against Hoffenheim at the weekend. Steve West put up Hoffenheim as a big hot dog. They scored early, but Leipzig came back to win 3-1. I put up a corners play for you here. I don't think that Leipzig at plus 130 are the worst bet in the world. Byron, I'm not going to quote exactly what you've said, but I understand what you're saying. Wolfsburg have been poor in the past month, says Byron. This is what I've come up for a corners play. It's interesting because Löw played 4-1-3-2 against Hoffenheim at the weekend with Xavi Simons over on the left-hand side and Šeško and Openda up front. So slightly different formation. And from a corners point of view, the stats don't tell the full story. Seasonal stats for both of these teams would suggest that Wolfsburg might have an edge on Leipzig when it comes to corners play. But Leipzig have won more corners than the opposition in 11 of their last 13 matches in all competitions. A run that includes a corner success over Wolfsburg by 8-4. Admittedly, that was at home. In the same time frame, Wolfsburg have only won 2 of their last 13 corner matchups and they've lost 10. Wolfsburg are in 12th at the minute. They've lost their last 3, and they've lost interest in the season. They won't be going down. They won't be taking an interest in European football next season. The corner market, with all those stats to think about, is each a 2. Wolfsburg minus 103, Leipzig minus 103. And surely the bet has to be Leipzig to have the most corners. They're going to be the side that play on the front foot. They've slightly tweaked their system when it comes to how they play under their new interim boss. So that is the bet for me. Corners, minus 103. Leipzig to have more corners than Wolfsburg in the Bundesliga game tonight. Moving on to Lens against Reims. Although before I do that, let's just see what the boys have been saying here. Genepi says Wolfsburg at home are awful, so Leipzig away feels like a boring 0-0 or 1-1. Byron says corners could be a good look. I hope it is. Now then, I've spoke to Steve and to James about the Lens-Reims game here. And James has told me that Reims are without both their centre-backs, Kipre and Okumo. So it's going to be a makeshift centre-back pairing for Reims. They're away at Lens. He has suggested that Lens aren't the best, but Steve has come in with a line suggesting that Lens will probably win. He says they're a bit overrated. They could only score 1 goal against Saint-Etienne, which says it all, but he reckons they'll dominate. Hard to trust. He's suggesting something like 1-0 or 2-0, a home win. They are minus 180.
Well, Steve's hard to trust, or they are. I've always found him quite a nice guy.
Do you know what?
Everybody to there dangerous.
Yeah, look, Norwich, Steve. No, look, Steve is a trustworthy character. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I quite like that angry. Nobody's messing with that guy.
I quite like the unders on this one, I must admit. Byron says Lens and under 3.5 at plus 102 might be the way. We've had a near $1,000 play on Lens at minus 0.75 on the Asian line at minus 128. Most of the money on Lens, most of the money is on over, but not by much. And it is a game that you can see live on the BetRivers app and betrivers.com. So generally, we're sort of moving towards a Lens win. Tentative picks from both James and Steve, and maybe under goals in that one. Give us an update in the golf, Simon. Is anybody making a move at the minute? Any market movements?
Dangerous Dan, you want updates? I've got one that everybody on the Instagram, all the people that have done the outrights, we have had, well, you've been doing whatever you've been doing. We have had a great few minutes. Xander Scheffler has gone 1 under on the day after 5. He's birdied to go. Levels you devils, evens. And, of course, we gave Sahith Theegala 150 to 1. He is now under par. Where has he gone? Oh, I hate this at Augusta. When you've looked a minute ago and suddenly they're not there.
He dropped down the leaderboard.
Oh, he is. Sorry, he's now in tied 16th. He's 1 under after 2. He's birdied the second. Oh, my God, it's all happening. Our players are charging up that leaderboard.
So Xander, what, he's -1 now for the tournament? He's recovered.
Right. It's a tentative move.
Hey, listen, it's better than it was before.
On Sunday night, I told him to just take it steady today. Let me look at the top of the market for those of you more interested in who's going to win the thing. Rosie has birdied the 7th, so he's gone back to 8 under his 3-shot lead. But you've got Aberg 1 under and Bryson. Now, a lot of people said Bryson didn't like Augusta, and we had evidence to suggest that was the case. He said himself, he's now in joint second place. And let's see what BetRivers have done on that. They have cut him live to plus 400. Bryson is now clear second favourite to Scottie Scheffler. Bryson is on the charge. The Live Golf number 1 could be battling out with the PGA's number 1. Wouldn't that be a duel in the sun?
Ming says Bryson to win. It's only a par 67 for him, right? Yeah, well, yeah, the par 5s are fairly meaningless. He's huge off the tee, isn't it? But Duncan says DeChambeau is a little bit of a choker. He is a major winner, Duncan. Come on. Back to the football. Jennifer says Lens loves their 1-0 wins under 2.5 might be the way to play it as well. So that's Wolfsburg, Leipzig and Lens Reims. The other games a little bit later on. I drove myself mad all day with Udinese against Milan. I don't know if anyone's got any tips for this one. Milan are 9th, Udinese 11th, 8 points between them. Milan are minus money for this one, minus 115. I can't trust Milan at -115 at all. They're without a
Miserly,
win in
that.
3.
Surely Udinese are the bet there, Dan.
Well, the problem is, Simon, is that Udinese have lost their last 3. This is
Well,
the
there
issue.
is that.
Yeah, the Udinese. We've talked about Udinese on the European show an awful lot this season because they have proved troublesome opponents for the best teams in Serie A. Their record against the top 6 of Milan aren't, incidentally, but their record against the top 6: played 10, won 1, but drawn 4, only lost 5, and all 5 defeats by a single goal. So they're always within touching distance of the best. When Sergio Conceição came into Milan, I think everyone thought it was going to be a big upswing. 14 Serie A games in charge, only 6 wins, only 3 away wins of those 6. And obviously they're away in Udine tonight. And the 3 wins that he's managed since he came to the club against Lecce, Empoli and Como, all 3 of those teams are in the bottom 8 and 2 of the 3 are in the bottom 4. So the form hasn't been great away from home. I just can't tip Milan at minus money at all. However, just to completely contradict myself, Simon, here, when Milan have been minus money this season, 8 times away from home, they've won 5, a small profit if you've backed them every single time. And crucially, they've scored 14 goals. And I went down this rabbit hole of team totals for Milan, and then that's minus money as well. And it's been bet over the course of the day. It's about minus 120 here. So I can't have Milan at all. Udinese, I can't have either. I have got a play for you in the game, but I'll get there in just a second. What have the boys got here? Let's have a look on this. Ian says, any thoughts on Corey Connors for a top 10 finish? Simon, have a think of that. We'll get the answer shortly. Byron says, Udinese, Milan, both teams to score all day long. And this is Udinese can trouble the big teams. This is what we say. But they've lost the last 3. What else have we got? No Tovan, no party for Udinese. That's a great spot. He is not going to play tonight, Giuseppe. What else have we got? Nish says, I won't trust Milan tonight. Udinese to score. Perhaps both teams to score, but odds aren't the best. I've looked at it all day. It's driven me mad, and I can't come up with anything bar. We are a betting show, so we're going to we're going to shoehorn a pick in. Don't worry about that. Golf chat with Simon in a second. Going to answer your the YouTube commenters' picks. Right, Kyle Walker is out tonight. He's I looked on the Gazzetta website, and this is what I found, Simon. Walker operato al gomito. Now, your Italian is good.
Yeah, he's just out there.
And what that means is he's out because he's got a shoulder injury and he's been operated.
Oh, yeah, shoulder, yeah.
So, no, it's exactly. Gomito. So, therefore, no Kyle Walker, and also his understudy, Emerson Royal, is out as well. So, maybe on the right-hand side, Milan's right, the left of Udinese, there might be a little bit of a chance here. Now, Jurgen Eckelenkamp, he's not a regular starter. Started 15 games, been sub 12 this season for Udinese. 3 goals this season, 18 shots on target. He's around about plus 150 for a shot on target, Eckelenkamp. And at a bigger price, Hassan Kamara, if Udinese revert to 3-5-2, which is the formation they've played against all the big teams this season, Hassan Kamara is the left wing back. He's only scored once this season. You look at his shot on target stats and they're awful. But against the makeshift right back, who could be Alejandro Jimenez, who's only just 19, he's only started 5 Serie A games, then maybe Kamara can get a little bit of a look in. He's plus 480 to have 1 or more shots on target. So there's a couple there to get with if they start. Eckelenkamp at plus 150 roughly, and Hassan Kamara plus 480. You could have a little bit of fun with those two. How special for you in this one? Santiago Jimenez or Tammy Abraham to score the first goal. Obviously, Milan players against Udinese is plus 185. We've had a $1,000 play on over 3.5 total corners for Udinese. Most of the money has come on Milan. Most of the money has come on overs. Let's just revisit some of the golf questions for you. Corey Connors. Who was it? Was it Ian? Any thoughts on Connors for a top 10? What are we saying, Simon?
Right. Last time Connors played, I bet him heavily. He was absolutely nowhere. Got up on the
Who did he
last
play?
day.
McEnroe at Wimbledon?
Yeah, went straight there. He came flying through. He got into second place. I thought, thank God. The place part is safe. He might even win. And then he dropped away in the last 3 holes to finish, I think 8th, and I had 7 places. So he is not on my Christmas card list. He has the ability to win any golf tournament. He does not have the temperament to win a Masters. So no.
Oh, there you go. He's put you off there, Ian. Ginepi says his Tovan starts will go for overs. Talking about the Udinese and Milan game. So Isaac Newton, Deschambault golfs with Donald Trump regularly. They're besties. I bet he made a fortune with the stocks going up and down. Anyway, we digress. We don't want to get Simon onto that. We'll be here all night.
It was scanners on. He got 40 minutes.
Meninda Prihar says, has Nigel got Simon trapped in the basement of his yacht in Monte Carlo? Ominous backdrop. I thought it was real Hawaii vibes. Tell us where you are, Simon.
I'm in, well, I can't give the exact location for blackmail purposes, but what I can say, this is, I get asked about this a lot. This is the winning wavelength. It is one piece of wallpaper, wave effect. It cost me an absolute fortune. And not one person who's been lucky enough to visit Cardigan Hall, where I'm based, has actually said they like it. I've had comments like, that's, I used expletive, why have you got that there? It is 100% universally hated. But I think, it almost looks like I'm doing what's known as the tunnel in surfing circles, where you go through the thing. So that's it. And if Seeley ever did get a yacht, and it was based in Monte Carlo, I would be so nowhere near it. He wouldn't have me anywhere near it. He wouldn't risk it to get me in the basement. So don't worry, I'm nowhere near that man.
Listen, if Nigel is there, just blink twice if you need saving. Has he? Are you in the basement? Blink twice if you need saving.
You see a little bit of paper coming up with help, you'll know that the guy was unstuck.
Byron's just grabbed Brighton at plus 430 with the Bet Rivers profit boost. What else we got? Nishas won't trust Milan tonight. Udinese to score, perhaps both teams to score. I think I'll rattle through that one before. Nish, both teams to score, maybe. Ginepi, talking about Tovan. He's a big miss. He's had such a good season, as we know. I could have sworn I saw a comment from our very own Steve Wiss. Oh, yes, Tovan was in great form but for his injury. Gutted he's missed recent games. And Nish says, I'm on the HSV match. Over 3 Asian goals. That's the Hamburg game at 195. Slight minus money there. If you can get the odds. Where were we? Oh, yes, one more football match to look at for you, which is in Spain. Which is Valencia against Sevilla. Valencia plus 125, tie plus 205, Sevilla plus 240 here. What do we do with Valencia here? 13 La Liga games under Carlos Corberán, who has absolutely turned their fortunes around. They were bottom when he took over. 6 wins, 4 draws, 3 defeats in La Liga since he took over. Of course, he left West Brom. They were looking at relegation for the first time since the mid-80s. And now, since he took over, if you just had a league table from his first game, they'd be in 5th place behind Barcelona, Real Madrid, Getafe and Real Betis. Only that quartet have won more points than Valencia. They have won 3 of the last 4. They're unbeaten in 5. Sevilla are going in the other direction. They've lost the last 3, but their defeats have come to Atleti, Real Betis and Athletic Club. So 3 really good teams. And I just don't want to take plus 125, whatever it is, about a Valencia win here. They have outperformed their XG in their last 5. That's not going to continue. Sevilla haven't posted an expected goal number bigger than 1 in their last 5 games. The underline is low, as you can see, at minus 177. If you go the Asian line quarter ball lower, you can get minus 130 on the 2.25, which I reckon might be the value play. It's a half win if there's 2 goals, of course. We have got a house special. Valencia, Sevilla in the first, both teams score in the first half, plus 390. Most of the money has come for Valencia. Most of the money is on the under as well here, and it's a live stream on the Bet Rivers app as well, so you can watch it. We've had a $1,000 play in Valencia on the money line at plus 135. Obviously, that has come in a little bit. Byron says Valencia, Sevilla always play close, low scoring ties, but both teams to score. So you're looking at a 1-1 there. And sprinkle the Super Dan special, the draw. Yeah, it's the European games of the draw, and with the Champions League, I've lost so much money. But I have only gambled what I can afford, don't worry. Nish Valencia matches, both teams to score all over it. Steady Bet says Scheffler, here's some proper golf chat here. Steady Bet says Scheffler only gained 0.5 shots approach yesterday, made it look easy. If his irons get going, he'll win this by a few. Nish says under's probably the best bet in the Spanish game. And Stephen from him says 0-0 alert. potentially, but they have been scoring a little bit. I just think under 2.25 is the way to play it. That's the soccer. Just to recap, I'm going to go under 2.25 in the Valencia game. I'm going to play Ekkelenkamp and Kamara shot on target. Not certain that Ekkelenkamp's going to start. Kamara should do. I'm more confident with the corners play, which is Leipzig to have more corners than Wolfsburg at -103. That'd be my best bet on the soccer tonight. Let's talk. In fact, we're going to talk tennis first before we get into the golf with Simon, because Nigel must be watching somewhere, because he's given me the latest when it comes to the tennis. Let me just get this up, because if you have been following the Game Bet and Match and Sean and Nigel and all of the gang, some great tennis content, you will know that Davidovich Fokina has been tipped at 100-1 to win at Monte Carlo. He is through to the semi-final. He plays Carlos Alcaraz, the second seed, tomorrow. And we've also got a chance of getting Musetti through to the final, semi-final as well, in the other half of the draw. Now, unfortunately, Tsitsipas has won the first set 6-1 there, but we're hoping that Musetti can turn it around. We're on at 40-1. Nigel and Sean and all the gang, I think it's 6 from the last 6 on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, make sure you follow us, follow Nigel, all the tennis gang, because they have been absolutely flying in with an awful lot of winners. So therefore, there is no pressure on Simon when it comes to the golf that we're going to rattle through in just a second. Sir Isaac Newton says Sevilla got robbed last match. Sevilla tie no bet +138. I get that. I don't want to start back in Valencia at +120, +125, even though they've been a lot better under Corberan. I think their schedule's been a little easier than Sevilla. I don't think they're as bad as 3 defeats on the spin suggest they are. Golf, Mr. Holden, is next up on the agenda here. Any movements in the outright market as we speak? Has Justin Rose dropped any more shots or not?
My shot, whatever it is that goes off every time somebody gets a birdie, is just, well, it's going off frequently. As we stand now, Scheffler is rock solid at +225. Excellent point made then about the strokes gained. And of course, this is a second shot golf course. This is an irons, where it's often talked about as being a power play. It isn't. This is where you can get the ball on the greens in the safe bets, and nobody does it better than Scheffler. So yes, he hasn't got the power of a Bryson or a Rory, but the accuracy he's got. So +225. Interestingly, Dan, it hasn't edged out, even though Bryson started well, even though Aberg started well. It's almost like Bet Rivers don't want to extend Scottie, or it could be a wave of money that hits them, no pun intended. So we've had a good solid start with players getting under par, and of course they're going out in the easiest conditions. We saw yesterday the players out late, I think it was 2.5 strokes more difficult. The greens dry out there and become more and more treacherous. So if you are out late, you're not always at a great advantage. It's fascinating, but we're going to look at the last 4 matches, and we're going to try and parlay and get you a little 64-1.
Yeah, come on then.
Friday night special. So no pressure. The only pressure is the pressure we put on ourselves.
Exactly. So okay, look I will tee you up for these, Simon. Right. Mickelson, Day and Bradley. Yesterday, lefty shot a 75. Jason Day a 70. And Keegan Bradley a 74. So Jason Day +150 to go in again. Played well, strokes gained tee to green, 6th best in round 1. For my money, I'd play Jason Day. What are you going for in that 112 tee time?
I'm going for the veteran Mickelson. Do you know that there's a golf betting strategy that when a player gets to 40 at the weekends, they oppose them. When they get to 45, they oppose them starting on a Friday. And when they get to 50 plus, they oppose them at the start. But lefty Mickelson, he completely inverts that, because he gets stronger as the week goes on, despite his age. And I think going out late, he's going to outfox them tonight. I think that's a great price. Plus, sounded like Neil Warnock, didn't they? And it's a great price, +225. So Mickelson, the lefty.
Okay, going for the outside with 3. I've got to back Scottie Scheffler. I know he's short at -167, but and one of our YouTube commenters talking about his strokes gain. I mean, he putted really well yesterday. 2.9 strokes gained putting stat, fourth best last week. I'm going to play the jolly here. What do you like in that 123? Scottie Scheffler, Justin Thomas, or the man who made all the headlines for the wrong reasons, Jose Luis Ballester. Let's hope that he doesn't have a tinkle in the lake again, Mr. Holden.
Holy Land should be thrown out. Right, I said earlier that Scheffler does nothing by chance. I think today's a holding day for him. I think he's going to go for par or maybe 1 under. He will not go crazy. He will not try and get this one. That will be done tomorrow on Saturday when he puts the pedal down. Therefore, we have a situation today where I think we can get him beat in this 3-ball. And of course, the great thing is we can rule out one. It gives us a great advantage. We rule out that
the amateur.
Horrible amateur. Just rule him out. This is a match. A Swan Vesta, and JT is known as the comeback kid. Now, recently he shot, was it 79, 63, whatever. I think he played quite well yesterday. He thinned 2 chip shots. This is the man with the best stats from 90 and 80 yards in with wedges. Just unheard of. He'll have gone straight to the practice ground and put that right. JT needs a low round to get through. I don't think he'll go mad. I don't think he'll go flag hunting early, but I do think he's capable of shooting 68 today. And I think that would be good enough to win this. So I'm playing an angle bet. I think Scottie's going to be uber conservative tonight. And I think that JT, in what is essentially a match, is valued at plus 170.
Steady Bet says JT's best ever rounds at Augusta in round 2. Good bet to win the 3-ball. So you've got a fan there. You've got someone who colludes with your Steady Bets or low round 2 score. To bet as well. Yeah, it's a good one. Duncan says I might have a little tinkle on Jose Luis. I should really read these before I just read them out. Thanks for that, Duncan. But completely put me away. So we know the first 2 then here. Mickelson at plus 225. JT at plus 170. Then we get Jordan Spieth, Tom Kim, and Tyrrell Hatton here. Spieth and Kim both 73s. Tyrrell Hatton 69. I always think that he could blow up at any minute, Tyrrell Hatton, but he is the favourite at plus 150 to win the 134 3-ball. Simon, what's the pick?
Right, one of the things we almost must be careful of is recency bias. And, Jordan Spieth, the king of Augusta, he was known as for 4 years. How can he be a bigger price today on the back of 1 round than Tyrrell Hatton when we look at the entirety of his Augusta career? He played well again yesterday, just didn't putt well. Hatton, the fuse is so short, it's non-existent. At some stage today, I think he's likely to have a mental letdown, shall we say. And I think Tom Kim's playing poorly at the moment. I don't think Spieth is necessarily playing poorly. I think he puts it poorly. Big difference. I think Spieth being bigger than Hatton on all known Augusta knowledge is crazy. It's got to be Jordan at plus 163.
That is the pick. Jordan at plus 163 to go along with JT and Lefty. And finally, full disclosure here, I've backed Mav McNeely to be the top debutant. He's plus 175 here to win this 3-ball. Out with Tony Finau at plus 150 and the Belgian Thomas Detry at plus 200, who shot a 79 yesterday, and only 4 players had worse strokes gained tee to green stats than the Belgian. I can rule him out. I'm going to play Mav McNeely on this one. Who do you like in that 145 3-ball, Simon?
We are like the Top Gun team. It's got to be the Maverick. Now, you've got Detry, who looks like he wants to be anywhere else but there. I thought he was dreadful. Tony Finau, I'm not talking out of school. This is public knowledge. The man has been taken to court by his own family. Dangerous. Now, mine hate me, but they're not taking me to court. Finau, I think it's weighing heavily on the guy. He looks just so unlike himself. I think Maverick is a great bet. Like you, top debutant market, he was strong in that. And of course, he is one of the top 3 short game exponents. And with that flat stick, so vital around here. I'm very surprised he's as big as that. And again, I think this is in essence a match between him and Big T. So plus 175 Maverick all day long.
Okay, so Lefty at plus 225. JT plus 170. Jordan plus 163. Mav at plus 175. You can play any way you want. You can play the singles. You can play the doubles, the trebles. But the full parlay, Simon, returns
60. Let me just see, because one of the prices has changed.
65. Is it 65?
60. 65.
There you go. 65.
And the thing is, of course, really important. This is a snapshot bet. I'm not saying JT's going to win the Masters. We're not saying he's going to beat Scottie. It's a snapshot. It's about what's going to happen today. I think Scheffler is actually probably a smidgen of value in the outright. But if he does play conservatively today, will he edge out a bit? Is the day? Is tomorrow morning the time to bet him? Let Bryce and everybody have their fun today, and then he'll get serious over the weekend.
It's going to be a great weekend, great night as well of golf tonight or this afternoon, wherever you are in the world. If you had to pick one of those four as your best play for the late three balls, Simon, which one would it be, do you think?
It's got to be Jordan Spieth.
Plus 163. That's the best bet from
That's
Simon.
the best bet today, yeah. And of
course,
course, head over to Instagram. I'll be back on tomorrow morning.
Well, this is it. I was about to say, what's your Instagram schedule, Simon, between now and the last pot dropping on Sunday afternoon?
Probably non-existent after this show. I shall be on at some stage in the morning, and then
via
Sunday.
Instagram.
Now, of course, Sunday last year, when I filmed in the back of a Rolls-Royce Corniche, was one of our most watched ever Instagram clips. Many people have asked for me to bring the car back. The car will not be back, but I will be. And of course, we gave Patrick Reed last round to beat Rory McIlroy in the 2-ball, and he beat him by 6 shots. I'm hoping for as good a weekend as this one. So, yeah, I'll be back with the... I'm not sure we're going on the outright. We're already decent enough there, but there'll be a couple of... 2-ball bets, and then on Sunday a big edition where we'll go through the whole thing and maybe re-enter the win market.
We'll find out, of course, from Simon over the weekend. Keep close to Because We Win on Instagram. That is a wrap for Betting Weekly Live. An awful lot of content coming your way. If you've not seen the Premier League show, it's out. I think the European show is out as well for the football. The live tennis shows are back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and next week. Nigel's still out in Monte Carlo. So Nigel will be posting pics as well. We hope, our fingers crossed, as we check the score, that Musetti might be able to get through to the semi. Already we've got Davidovich Fokina through as well at 100-1. We need him to get through one more round to cash a massive each-way play. You can hedge out, you can do whatever you want if you've played that. So keep close to Nigel and the Bet Rivers Instagram for all the latest tennis picks. Golf from Simon over the weekend. A lot of football content as well. We will be back live on Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern for the soccer show. Tennis at 1 p.m. Eastern. From myself and from Simon. For now, though, it is goodbye. Have a very good and lucky betting weekend.